Hello, everyone. Welcome back to It Came from the Internet in our inaugural story. Dylan here is telling me all about the saga of Chris Chan. I am David, and please, Dylan, what happened in our first ever episode?
Kind of a lot. So, the basic story is Christian is an internet weirdo who has a real hard-on for Sonic the Hedgehog. He is all sorts of things. He is kind
He
of
he is guided in life by the bear conductor.
he is he his life feels like a very absurdist parody. It kind of feels like something Louis C.K. would write. Because I've heard like Louis C.K.'s movie ideas. Like he had one like of a really like the hot chick who accidentally kills a kid, and then as punishment she has to wear a beard for the rest of her life.
Wait, what?
Because she's this beautiful vain woman, and then like the kid had something about beards that he was really into. So that's her punishment. She has to wear a beard forever, and that's like his idea. And it's real weird and absurd, but it
Did we
kind of
talk
works.
about that in the last episode? I feel like we talked about this recently.
The beard movie?
The beard thing, yes.
We might
Yes,
have.
no, I specifically remember this being brought up for some reason.
Weird. Anyways, so when Chris Chan was a boy, he was named Christopher. And he went to the mall, and they had this novelty thing where like this robot bear conducted, and there was a dude who like
I
had a
typed in the
microphone.
bear conductor on Google and I got nothing.
Yeah,
We just need to make weird T-shirts that just say like I serve the bear conductor or something on them.
right. It feels like a Five Nights at Freddy's thing.
I know, like I love. That's why I love it so much. It's so weird, and the image I have in my head is A, kind of a cartoon and not very realistic, but B, way more awesome than that real, probably terrifying looking animatronic bear, because this was the late 80s, actually looked.
He just so like the bear could not say his name Christopher, so he kept saying Christian, and then Chris Chan got his name changed to Christian for the bear. So, and soon enough, we're going to hit a saga where someone claims to be the real Chris Chan. And he continually says that he is Christian Weston Chandler as he has been christened by God, Jesus, and the bear conductor. And at no point...
So someone showed up claiming to be Christian Weston Chandler?
Yes, and they claim that the Chris Chan we know is not the Chris Chan... is not the real Chris Chan.
Oh.
It is a crazy fucking ride we're going to go on today. Chris Chan's a weird dude. He won a contest when he was a kid. He got a bunch of Sonic games. He has spent most of his time trying to get girlfriends. He got expelled from college because he kept walking around with a sign that said he was looking for a girlfriend, and he was kind of advertising himself for it.
A boyfriend-free girl that he could love.
Right. And then he started to post his dumb little comics to the internet, and someone who had gone to school with him posted his comics on Something Awful's webcomic forum. And from there, 4chan got a hold of it, and they held a little, the V board, the video game board, had a little fan art thing. And then a guy calling himself Evan, he emailed some of them to him, and he did not like most of them. And he demanded to see more Christian art of Sonichu and Rosachu together, and not Sonichu banging people or like dudes.
But dudes.
Right. And then he very clearly writes that he wants pictures of Rosachu masturbating and squirting, are his exact words.
I vaguely remember that, and I don't like it. I don't like
It's like,
that this stuff
I
is
also
in my
feel
head now.
I also feel like we should make T-shirts that say that.
No, I would never wear that T-shirt.
And the people who would, though, are the people we need to, like, we need a tag or something to signal those people out. The type of people that are similar to the person in my avatar, which I will explain when we get to that later.
Wait, is this part of the saga? Because
It's always part of the saga.
I miss what is it? The episode 4 or no, chapter 4 image of Chris drinking the soda. I
Right.
missed
That one.
that.
I had another one of Chris, but it didn't look very good in the circle, so I switched it to this. And this man will play a very large role in the coming chapters.
Oh, fantastic.
But right now, we're at the tail end of 2007, and a very important figure will pop up. Probably not the founding member, but the first member of the so-called miscreants, who will
It's like
make up a council of fellows who dedicate their time and efforts to trolling Chris Chan.
the
And
internet's a fucked up place, Dylan.
the first one is a woman named Vivian G, who I'm not able to find out. I think the 4chan or like the Gamergate character Vivian might be named after her.
No, it's not because it's the Vivian James is because it's Vigi Games. Like
Uh,
that's literally
I
all
think
it
her
is. I
name
can
is also like Vivian G. It's the same. Of it's just it sounds like video games. I've never she's one of the few figures in the 4chan world who has not made like a physical appearance. No one knows what she actually looks like.
if she's
All we really I think
do we even know that's a woman?
yes, because she has phone calls with Chris Chan. That's another thing that comes up. Is a lot of people call Chris Chan, and she has like a really thick French accent. I think.
Why do a lot
So
of people call Chris Chan?
it's just because he gives out his number a lot.
Oh,
And then it's like, if you're already like fucking pretending to be Shigeru Miyamoto and Liquid Snake, why wouldn't you just call him and tell him about it? It's gonna get real fucked up.
really, really, it's gonna get real fucked up. As if I didn't fucking know that already.
You don't even know.
I know I don't. That's the whole thing.
So Vivian G contacts Chris Chan, says that she owns a character who is extremely similar to Sonichu, mostly to get a rise out of him. Chris Chan doesn't really respond. Hold on. And then she leaves him another email that I want to read here because it's pretty great. I didn't put it into the document because I thought I would have it up, but I have it up now. All right. So here is her very first email to Chris Chan. It was sent November 4th, 2007. Hello, I am Vivian G, originator of the Sonichu concept. I have noticed that you have a strikingly similar character that I have created. Some people have accused me of stealing your idea, and I would like it if you could announce that I have not stolen from you. I would really appreciate that. Signed, VVG. This is her second email. Jesus, are you so high on your horse that you think it's fan art? Jesus Christ, man, you are irritating me. You are putting me under more damn stress than you'll ever have. I already broke up with my boyfriend, and college ain't helping shit. You and your claims of your precious characters that mean nothing to anyone. They mean fucking nothing to anyone because they are worthless to everyone. You think you had a worse weekend, huh? Then tell me your story, and I'd feel some damn pity. I want to express my goddamn self to the internet, and I find that some prick who thinks he's so great can call homosexuals wrong, and I have 2 lesbian friends who would be offended as fuck by your ignorance, and thinks that going around stalking girls will get you a girlfriend. Newsflash, bitch. You have nothing to this world, and you will never get a fucking laid unless you improve yourself. Your troubles with jerk-offs isn't because of them. It's because of you. Fuck off and die, Vivian G. That's our second email to him.
Weird.
Which is in all caps. So the thing about Vivian G is it's hard to tell how much of what she says is just to get a rise. Like, how much is her playing a character, and how much is her being genuine. And she'll continue to be in contact with Chris for a while. She'll play a bigger role later. Vivian G is kind of Chris's only real friend in a weird way.
So did she make a character called Sonichu, or is she just fucking with him? Like I don't know at this.
Well, that is definitively her fucking with him. And then the next
Okay.
email where she's all irate, and then from there on,
About did Chris like claim that she was fan art or something?
I think so. We don't have every email. Some of these we only have Vivian's email because she, I guess, put them out. So some of these are kind of weird and out of place. But she continually tries to give Chris advice. She gives it in the manner that someone from 4chan would. Like, don't be a fucking retard. But she does try. which is more than most people in Chris's life have done. She writes a book about it.
Wait, what?
He writes. Vivian G wrote a book called. What was it? I think it was The Girl Who Brought Down the World, which is the idea of a woman who lives with her sister in a world where Chris Chan is president.
Oh.
And he just ruins the entire planet. And it's I mean, it's not like a whole book. It's only like 50 pages or something like that.
That's not a book.
I mean,
you overpromised, Dylan. You overpromised.
A novelette.
A novella?
I mean, novelette is what's here. I don't know how long it is. She like put it out on a DeviantArt or something.
But novella is the actual term for that. How dare they come up with it? Fuck you, internet. Fuck you.
I think a novelette is like lesser than a novella.
But a novella.
Nope, I go to the Wikipedia page for novelette and it redirects right to novella.
Yeah, fuck you, internet.
So in another email, Chris reveals he's talking to a woman named Lori Lopez. Lori Lopez doesn't exist. She is a woman who is made up by Joshua Martinez, who is Chris's in real life friend, who he knew from his days in speech therapy. So Joshua is in many ways.
He's come up before, right?
Yes, Joshua is Chris's only real life friend who's a dude, but Joshua kind of hates Chris. Later on, he'll try to scam Chris out of money. Joshua is in many ways setting the stage for future trolls, because as we'll find, many other people pretend to be women in contact with Chris. So one thing that's worth noting here is you may have some sympathy for Chris, but the worst of it comes from he himself. Because shortly after this, Chris begins to vandalize his own Encyclopedia Dramatica page. And when he vandalizes,
first I would like to state, since this is like an interactive, you telling me a story experience,
yes,
I have a tiny bit of sympathy for Chris because he is someone that, I mean, is medically diagnosed and just very obviously has mental issues, and people are fucking with him, and it's kind of sad, and it is messed up. But he's also a raging asshole lunatic, and that has nothing to, like, a lot of his, like, raging asshole lunaticness has nothing to do with his mental problems. He refuses to accept, like, he has this terrifying, skewed view of the world that is so just fucked.
Yes.
Yes.
So he begins to vandalize his own ED page, but in the process, he begins to post his diary entries to the page.
Okay, what is... Small side note, what is Encyclopedia Dramatica? I've been on it a couple times, but I've never really, like, delved into it. It seems like a wiki written by assholes.
Yes, it is basically a parody of Wikipedia from, like, 4chaners.
Okay, that's so it is. It's a wiki written by assholes, so everything's quote-unquote snarky.
Right.
Or what the internet thinks is snarky, which is just being a dick.
Well, yeah, but a lot of it is about actual, like, noted 4chaners.
Yeah, but it's mostly about internet bullshit.
Yeah. I don't think it exists anymore. I think it got taken down. Like, there are archived versions up, but I don't think there's, like, an active site anymore.
Really?
Yeah, like, they just couldn't afford the upkeep of a wiki.
That doesn't fucking surprise me. Wikipedia can barely afford the upkeep of a wiki.
If we all paid $3, the drive would be over in an hour, David.
Yeah, I need to pay the money because you know why? It's tax deductible, and
which I don't know if you've noticed this, but now every site that has any sort of like funding thing going on has a sign that says if we all paid $3, it would be over in an hour.
Wait, really?
Yeah, like I've seen there's a couple different sites that I've been on that have that exact same thing.
So they're just making fun of Wikipedia?
I don't think they're making fun of it. I just think they're trying to piggyback off the method.
Well, I think that, but their prices should be lower because no one needs as many dollars as Wikipedia does.
Right.
I love Wikipedia.
Right. So shortly after he begins his vandalization, Chris begins to post Rule 34 art of Sonichu and Rosachu to the page, largely to fight back against all the art of Rosachu as a dick girl.
Oh, don't tell that to Matt. He would not like that he was fighting back against that.
Right.
That's
One
weird.
of
We
the
love you.
images that Chris posts is the infamous "She came for CWC."
Wait, what?
So "She came for
Oh,
CWC"
okay.
is
You know
kind
you're
of
gonna have to link this to me, right? Because like
oh god, I hope I don't. It's really
but I know what
kind
it's
of
it's it's a double entendre, right?
well, yeah. I mean, it's him fingering a woman.
Yeah, yeah.
So the woman in the image kind of looks like Crystal, who is the fictional sister of Chris Chan. Here,
Right,
I'm
right. I
putting the link
remember.
in
I
the chat
remember
for you.
Crystal.
Right, she kind of looks like her. So people were like, "Christian, are you drawing pictures of you
What the
banging your fake?"
fuck?
And Christian's like, "No, that's not Crystal. That is Megan Schrouder." And this is like her first mention as a real person.
Is does he have force lines off of his hand? Like, is that what that
No,
is?
I don't know what it is. I think it's supposed to be like I'm not sure. I've never been able to figure out what's going on in that image. Apparently,
It's a multi-part combination of the fact that Christian doesn't know how to draw at all, and he doesn't know what a woman looks like naked.
right. I think Chris thinks that when women finish, they too produce semen, and that's what's going on in that image.
That what? It looks more like he's like power fingering her like it looks like I don't know. I don't know what kind of move
I thought about like
that would be, but it
censoring
looks
it
like
so I could post it directly, but the craziest part of the image,
the craziest part is the hand in the
right? Like you can't get if you censor
if
it,
you
you're losing. It loses all
everything.
artistic merit.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And then at the very end of the year, Chris buys another sex doll.
Oh,
This one's name is
great,
Kimmy.
great.
Kimmy comes up a couple
Why do
times
we know this?
because he has it. It
Oh
you'll
yeah.
find out.
Has he said this like does the public know this at this point?
Does the public know he has a sex doll named Kimmy?
Yeah.
I mean,
Like I want
you'll
to know
find
if that's revealed to so it's revealed to the world later. Okay.
right. So we're now in 2008. So the year starts out pretty good for Chris. Megan is apparently having some personal problems with. I think she lives in Kentucky at this point. So she expresses some interest at staying with the Chandler household at their decrepit, falling apart home. So it's starting okay for old Chrissy here. He's got, his gal is going to come and stay with him for a while.
Live in his shit box.
Right. He also makes a couple attempts to hack his Encyclopedia Dramatic page with no success.
What does
He
that
does,
mean?
I don't know. He uses the word hack. So I'm getting all this information from the Quickie, which is a wiki dedicated to cataloging all of his idiosyncrasies.
Is this the CWC wiki?
Yeah, the Quickie.
Okay.
And a lot of it is written in his own like quickisms. So like troll and pickle come up a lot, just as things that he says. So I don't
Does he
know
like
what this
pickles
is
a
by
lot?
hack. I assume it means he tried to like enter someone else's account.
No. Like what's with pickles?
He doesn't like pickles.
Oh wait, yeah, that came up. That came up before.
Yeah, and then if you're gonna fuck with a guy who so clearly doesn't like something, that's the first thing you're gonna bring up. Notably, one of the aliases Chris uses to hack his page is Clyde.
Why is that? What?
It'll come back up. Don't you worry.
I'm
It's
sure.
important for later.
It's you realize like we've already woven such a complex tapestry of insane bullshit, and we're just like, you just keep showing me that we're still at the tip of the iceberg. Like,
It's fucking crazy. We're not even to the good stuff yet. For relevance, or to give an insight to the listeners, I already told you this, but the quickie becomes ever more complex in its timelines. Like, from his birth to 2004 is all one article. And then, like, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, those are all articles that get kind of longer. And then starting at 2009, the articles are monthly, and some of the months are longer than previous year articles. Stuff happens, and it happens a lot. Whew.
I thought I see when we went into this, I thought this was going to be more about finding out the real live events that inspired the insanity that is the Sonichu comic. But then I'm coming to realize that is neat. Like, I thought that was crazy. No, no, real life is worse.
So notably, Vivian G is not the only person to write about Chris Chan. A woman named Anna McLaren wrote a short story called "The Tale of the Crazy Pacer" because she noticed the way Chris kind of walked around the mall all the time. And I think she got an award or something for it? I don't remember. I didn't read this one. But Anna McLaren, she and Chris come in contact. I think they maintain a friendship. She doesn't come up a lot, but she is a prominent white knight of Chris. She comes to his defense quite a bit. She is less brutal about it than Vivian is. So in a lot of ways, she's kind of like the Paragon version of Vivian, an internet figure who comes to Chris's aid, but is less brutal about it.
But she apparently knows him in real life.
Yeah, like they have met and talked and stuff. Chris, of course, tried to seek a relationship with Anna, but she refused, saying that she was a lesbian, and she's also a Mormon, so it would be against her religion to be with a man before marriage or something. So Chris's two best friends are a woman whose internet career is pretending to be an internet hamster, and a woman who's a gay Mormon.
Wait, the other one's internet career is being a hamster? You skipped that
Oh
part.
right, I forgot. Yeah, Vivian has like a gag show where she had like a toy hamster that she like voiced. You can't see it anymore. Her account's gone.
The internet's so why?
I don't know. Why not? I mean, if
Why
you
do
don't want to be
people?
on camera, why not just be a hamster? You know, man.
No, no, but why is it gone?
I don't know. She probably got tired of dealing with Chris, so she. Vivian is also the woman behind the Sonichu audiobooks, which came up. I think on V they originated, and some dude just read some of the chapters of Sonichu, and she liked it enough that she took the audio and put it over like the actual comic and then uploaded it to YouTube, and then used the annotations to give her own optional commentary. And she did the whole series, and they were really good. And then at some point, they were lost. I assume she shut down her account to get away from all that. I guess.
Fuck, I want to
I don't
see
know.
that.
You can actually. The audiobooks at
Oh,
least have been re-uploaded with the annotations by other people. They're really good.
cool.
So March opens with a request from Megan. Because she's tired. She's come under some harassment from people on the internet, and she wants Chris to remove every reference to her from the internet. This is 2008, so around this time,
So this is when people still don't know what the fuck the internet is yet.
yes.
People
Again,
only the past like year and a half have brought what the internet is to sharp relief to many people that didn't know what the fuck the internet was.
right.
So, yeah. Well, 2008. What isn't that when BioShock came out?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah, the
it's a
first
good,
one.
it's a good year
Yeah.
for
Oh,
video
that was
games.
it was BioShock. That was what? Wasn't that when Prince of Persia and Dead Space and Mir. Yeah, that was a fucking great year.
I think like Halo 3 and the first Mass Effect came out too.
Uncharted, yeah, and Uncharted 2, right? Or no, yeah,
No,
no.
Uncharted 2 is '09.
Okay.
Uncharted 1 is '07, so that wasn't there. But it was a good year for video games. Modern Warfare 2 came out. Wasn't a
Prince of
good year for
Persia, man.
Chris, though.
Prince of Persia '08. Oh, so good. Anyway, yeah. Chris.
So Chris continues to attempt to get to scrub any reference of Megan from his ED page, but he again has no success because he's an idiot. And then Megan discovers she came for CWC, and and understandably demands Chris not talk to her anymore because he's drawing porn of them and posting it to the internet.
Yeah.
So notably, Chris does not blame himself for this. Chris blames the people at Encyclopedia Dramatica and the trolls for the ending of him and Megan's friendship. He doesn't understand that every part of this that she doesn't like was perpetrated by him. So continuing the trend of the internet ruining Chris's life, Chris is kicked out of his church because his pastor discovers all the stuff he has on the internet, which at this point is mostly pornography that he has made.
Wait. Um. What do you mean? What stuff that he has on the internet? Because he has all of the Sonichu
Uh,
comic.
he has Sonichu, but he's uploading like the Encyclopedia Dramatica page is mostly Chris writing about himself.
Oh, right, and I forgot you told me he was doing all that porn art of the Sonichu characters, right? The
Right.
comic
And
still hasn't gotten super pornographic yet, has it?
I don't think so, no. And then also remember, it's 2008. People don't really know how the internet works. They probably assume Encyclopedia Dramatica is like Facebook, and he's writing all of it by himself.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Chris continues to edit Encyclopedia Dramatica to reflect she came for CWC is not of his sister, but of Megan. And he describes Megan as his lost sailor soldier who dumped his sorry ass for drawing the pic of him fucking her. She never even had an inkling of interest in him. And then he writes a caption on himself as an intolerable sad sack loser.
What? Why? What? Is he
I,
just like drowning in self pity now?
well, yeah, at this point. Bizarrely, he continues to defend she came for CWC. He says that he does not regret drawing the image as it prevented him from wanting to rape Megan.
I'm sorry. What?
What I have written here exactly is, while attempting to defend she came for CWC, Christian says he does not regret drawing the image as it preventing him from raping Megan. Megan demands Chris not talk to her. Ultimately, the two cease communication and the Megan saga ends. So there you go.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I feel like we should just like put that on loop, and then I should talk in between it.
Well, I'm sorry. Like I mean, it's been bad this whole time. Like it.
Oh,
Chris has
it's
been like really like to actively claim to like say in a public forum like no. It's good that I drew this fucked up porn of this person I know in real life. It means I didn't rape her.
well, I think he said this to Megan. Like she was upset at him for it, and that's his excuse he gave to her directly.
What? How? How is he allowed to exist as a
Uh,
person?
Crazy. It is crazy that Chris isn't in jail yet, although by the time we finish this, he might be.
Really?
Stuff still happens to Chris.
Oh my
But
god.
we're in 2008. Chris joins a new church. I don't remember which church it was. It's not important. So Chris, of course, does not blame himself for his problems with Megan. He blames Encyclopedia Dramatica. He openly condemns the man who he believes made the Encyclopedia Dramatica page, one Jason Kendrick Howell.
That's obviously a fake character.
Jason Kinzer Cowell is actually a real person.
Oh
I
no,
think that's his real
wait,
name
that's
too.
the dude. That's the dude in the robes, right?
Right, he is a character in Sonichu who shows up. He is the leader of the 4 cent garbage building,
Yeah.
uh, and he kind of has a happy ending because he just leaves to live a happy life with his wife Kathleen in the mountains.
But that was after he got swallowed into Rose Chew's gaping vagina.
Right, that is after he was face raped. So, you know,
I feel like he would have preferred a face hugger to be
right.
face raped by.
Um, we know Jason Howell didn't actually put up the page though. Evan, the person who sent Chris all the fan art, is the person who put it up.
Okay.
So again, Chris promises to interview superfan Robert Simmons V. And Robert Simmons is not a troll. He genuinely likes Chris's stuff.
What?
He's a real person. He is
Because
interviewed
like
in a
like
segment.
you, well, I mean, you don't even genuinely like Chris's stuff. You like it in the same fucked up way that we like people like The Room. It's like Jesus fucking Christ, I have to stare at this thing because it shouldn't exist.
Right, Robert Simmons V is completely genuine. That's mostly because he's basically Christian. He's fat. He is autistic. He has his own Sonichu medallion, which is actually just a yellow cutout of Sonic that he put on a string. Um, Robert Simmons will not come back up, but he does eventually fold on Chris. He takes down all the videos he did uh, in support of Chris Chan, and this is his reason. I decided to remove all of my videos because I've come to the realization that Mr. Christian Weston Chandler is a horrible person. It took me a while to understand that Encyclopedia Dramatica did not slander Chris, but rather was telling the truth. From lying to his fans about the Nintendo deal to his perverted ways, I cannot bring myself to be a fan of his comics anymore. Not to mention, he doesn't even bother to update anymore. My only regret in this whole ordeal is that I wasted my time trying to defend such a self-centered, arrogant, sexist, homophobic asshole. As my cousin
Holy
said it
shit!
himself about Chris, what a selfish cow. Bottom line, lose some fucking weight, goddammit.
Oh my god! Like it was like, oh man, this guy really regrets this, and he's kind of upset at how he spent his life. And then you get to the last like 10 words, and it's just like, oh, he got pissed. He got real mad.
I mean, I've tried to string together that same string of words, and I cannot do it as well as he just did. That self-centered, arrogant, sexist, homophobic asshole. Racist.
Like,
I would add racist into that.
like okay, yeah, he missed racist, but otherwise, he fucking hit the nail on the goddamn head. Holy shit!
Yes.
See, and
Uh,
no, I don't need to say that. Um, I was well, no, I'll say it anyway because now I'm gonna look even worse. But I was just like, see, God damn it, Chris Chan, there was someone who related to you because he was autistic as well, and look at that. Even he knows you're an asshole. It has nothing to do with being autistic.
right. It's one by one, the people who Chris holds dear tend to either distance from him or turn on him. So Chris starts to respond to Vivian's emails that are a year old at this point. I don't think he really says anything of note. He just sort
Oh,
of.
wait, like he's literally going back in his inbox and responding to year-old emails.
I think he might have like just. I don't know. I don't know why he decided now of all time to respond to them. So Chris begins to sketch
Wait,
some.
but no, but so he is though. Like that's what you're
Yeah,
he's done.
he definitively is. I don't know why he decides to do it now, but I don't know why Chris does anything. So Chris has begun to sketch Samola Rosachu, who will become a character in the upcoming issues of Rosachu. She's the digger who marries Wild and is murdered in the bathroom, and whose child tortures her killer.
Right, yeah.
So Samola has an interesting origin. She is a female version of a fan character. That character is Simon Chu, or Simone Chew, who was created by Evan. He's just Simon the Digger from Gurren Lagann as a Sonichu.
Right, I remember that.
Right. He's ground electric, which is actually kind of interesting because electric types are or ground types are immune to electricity, so he would actually kind of be an interesting thing. Evan kind of throws a fit about this. I don't know how genuine it is, but he seemed very upset that Chris would swap Simon Chu's gender. Of course, Chris was upset at Evan for turning his Rosachu into a man, and now Evan is mad at Chris for turning his Simon Chu into a woman.
Nice.
Following that, Chris is banned from a local game shop called the Game Place. His time there was tenuous. The owner repeatedly threatened to kick him out. He ultimately does. The supposed reason is that Chris apparently got in a shouting match with a little kid, but chances are he was banned because he would cry anytime he lost a card game, and he was super racist.
So Chris cried
Oh yeah, of course. What else would he do? When he lost.
when he lost and was a dick to children.
Right. After that, a woman named Blanca begins emailing Chris. Convinces him to create
Blanca. A woman named Blanca.
Blanca, which I think is how you spell the Street Fighter's name.
I feel like that L should be an I, and then it's a name.
Bianca.
Yeah, not fucking Blanca. The
Blanca
giant monkey
is,
thing.
I think it is Italian for white.
Really?
Her full name is Blanca Weiss, and then it's like Weiss. Either Blanca or Weiss is Italian for woman, and I think Weiss is Italian for white or German for white. So her
she
name
has a
is
really
like white.
racist name.
Yeah, her name is literally white woman. The only two qualifying factors Chris has in his woman. So ultimately, Chris creates Jigliami for Blanca. Of course, Blanca is not a woman. Blanca is a group of trolls who are trying to screw with Chris and have him send them his Sonichu medallion.
Why?
Because it's fun.
Yeah.
So, a separate troll begins using the Blanca moniker and convinces Chris to photograph himself in the nude. And then, of course, the troll puts all the nude images on the ED page.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Notably, Chris has a drawing of Sonichu on his penis.
Wait, what?
I don't know if it's always there, or maybe he drew it specifically for the photo shoot, but
I
it's
would
there.
hope the latter. Like,
I would assume he drew it on there at one point, and he just never bothered to get rid of it. And he bathes so infrequently that it just hasn't disappeared yet.
it's also a distinct possibility.
Vivian continues her discourse with Chris all along, trying to better him in her aggressive but well-meaning way. And of course, Chris doesn't pay attention to any of it. So Chris doesn't know what to do about all his nude photos being up on the internet, so he decides to go to his church.
Honestly, I don't know anyone knows what to do when their nude photos show up on the internet.
His church sets him up with Rocky Shoemaker, who is the local counselor at the church. And Chris and Rocky, whose real name is Rochelle, spend some time together. Rochelle, or Rocky, is generally considered more bitter and dangerous to Chris than the trolls are, because Rocky is genuinely trying to help Chris, and she's genuinely making his life harder. And we'll cover some more of that as we go.
Shit.
I wasn't able to see if Rocky Shoemaker is related to Brad Shoemaker of Giant Bomb.
That's the second time you brought up Rocky Shoemaker's name, and every time you do, I think about Brad Shoemaker, and I'm like, I know that they're not going, unless, well, I guess I can't even say that, but they have nothing to do with one another.
I assume not, because I assume Brad Shoemaker's intense monotone voice is genetic, and I don't think Chris would trust a woman who has a man's voice.
That's true. I wish I had a voice as awesome as Brad Shoemaker's.
Every time I hear my voice, I get kind of sad.
Yeah, I want that intense low rumble.
Ugh. In his continued
Anyway,
intercourse with Vivian, Chris reveals that he's been in contact with one Panda Halo, who is another figure who will play very prominently soon enough. Another troll named Sarah Jackson, who was trying to win over Chris's heart, but could not because Blanc had already won it, dies in a car accident. And this is memorialized in an issue of Sonic 2, where apparently Optimus Prime is the one who killed Sarah Jackson. I don't know if Chris was told Optimus Prime killed Sarah Jackson, or if Chris just assumed. But every time I look at Sarah Jackson, I cannot find, like, every instance of her death is that it's at the hands of Optimus Prime as a truck. And I can't tell who started that.
but well, I mean, I don't even know, but I would hope Chris would know that Optimus Prime is not a real fucking thing.
Well, no, because Chris genuinely believes that cartoons are real. He doesn't believe they're real in this reality, but he genuinely thinks in another world he is the mayor of Quickville. So you could tell him Optimus Prime killed this woman, and he might believe it.
Fuck.
Also, Chris sends his Sonic 2 medallion to Blanca. And then the group known as Blanca spend several YouTube videos destroying it.
Like, you're gonna have to go into more detail than that, you know it.
I mean, they should fucking fuck around with it. They like shove it in a jar of pickles, and then they like hit it with and stuff. It's not very notable.
So they destroy him by just being like like dumb preteen teenagers on the internet, and but Chris is such a fragile thing that it just shatters his brain.
No, it doesn't. He just makes another one.
Oh.
Literally, on here, I have Blanca breaks up with Chris. The immediate next thing is Chris declares he has a new sweetheart named Chloe.
Jesus Christ.
So Chris's Encyclopedia Dramatica page has become quite the haven of discourse here. So in order to curb that, a subset of them set up a separate blog to sort of curb all the activity on the ED page. The blog will eventually gain forums, it'll grow in size, and it will become the Quickie in the future.
Okay.
Then late December, Anna visits Chris in person. I don't think anything happens. Later on, Chris is in a chat with Panda Halo, and he admits that he has trouble controlling his bowels.
Wait, why?
He just has trouble controlling his bowels.
Jesus.
I wonder if Chris has to like draw pictures of him shitting himself to keep himself from doing it in real life. Because it worked. It kept him from raping Megan, so it might keep him from soiling himself.
Okay.
And at the very end of the year, Chris discovers the Gay for Sonic 2 fan site.
Okay, when was that set up?
I don't know. I assume it wasn't set up very earlier, because it is a troll site. It was specifically set up to fuck with Chris.
Right.
So I assume shortly after it was put together and they had people posting, they sent it to him. But that's the end of 2008. And 2009 opens on a quite good note, because Chris is contacted by legendary game director Takashi Tezuka. Takashi is known for directing a lot of Nintendo's bigger franchises. So Takashi contacts Chris to get his permission to create a Sonic 2 game. And also, he wants his permission to put Sonic 2 in the then upcoming Animal Crossing City Folk.
Okay, so clearly this is an asshole trolling him on the internet.
Yes, this is a ruse.
Clearly.
Shortly thereafter, another representative of Nintendo called Greg Mays contacts Chris about updating his website, Sanchu.net, so they can update it to make it work a little better. This is also a ruse.
Why would a representative from Nintendo contact Chris about updating Chris's website?
I don't know. Just Chris is a fucking idiot and he'll believe anything.
Gee, I mean, at a certain point it gets really fucking hard to like even empathize for someone getting so mercilessly fucked with, because at a certain point it's just like, no, you need to know better. Like, these are not complicated. Like, these aren't complicated ruses. And it's not like this is literally the birth of the fucking internet and it's a no man's land. Like, I mean, we're in 2009 now. It's fuck.
Yeah. So Chris puts out a video where he says that Sanchu.net has been hacked, even though he literally gave controls of the site to Greg, so it wasn't really hacked, but whatever. There, Chris explains that Nintendo has appointed him a lawyer to help take down Greg Mays. Chris's lawyer is Jay-Z.
Wait, what?
Jay-Z the rapper is Chris's lawyer, as far as Chris is concerned.
Did someone troll him into thinking this, or like?
There's a troll who identified himself as Jay-Z,
okay,
representative of Nintendo.
Okay, see, I need to, because at a certain point I don't know if Chris is just making this shit up in his head or if people are fucking with him and he's literally just going along with it. Because, oh my god.
It's the best. So Chris gets control of Sanchu.net back. I don't know why. I assume Greg got bored, but Greg comes back.
I would like to think that these trolls are actually a secret cabal, like a team of internet trolls working together. Like, basically, I want to think that the Chris Chan trolls are like what the media thinks Gamergate is, which is this complicated underground movement of harassment, but instead of against women, it's just against Chris Chan, and not just random assholes doing it on the internet because they're bored.
Maybe wait a minute.
It becomes that. I want it to become that. I figure it will.
So, shortly thereafter, Chris puts out a video where he assures everyone he is straight, and in order to prove it, he stomps on his vibrator.
Why does he have a vibrator?
I don't know. Apparently, he just got it. Apparently, because like websites that you buy sex toys from.
He just fell on it.
I mean, they just sort of shove it.
He just tripped and he fell on it. I swear to God, he didn't put it up there.
I assume he just got it as part of like a deal with his 13 different sex dolls.
I swear to God, I'm straight. Let me show you by stomping on this vibrator that I own. That is like that is the worst idea I have ever heard.
It's like I said, it sounds like a really genius comedy.
It sounds like Chris Chan's life sounds like a South Park episode.
Sounds like
it does. It's so stupid, but like if it wasn't real, it would be like this genius fucking parody. But
half of the stuff, it sounds like Chris is living Tobias Fouquet's life. Like, no, I'm not a homosexual. What? I'll prove it. Let me step on this vibrator I have.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, that was a very good analogy there.
So shortly following this, Chris Chan's arch nemesis makes his first appearance. The enigmatic Clyde Cash hacks Sonichu.net. So Clyde Cash says that he is hacking Sonichu.net because Chris has.
Clyde's the fake person that Chris made up, right?
No, so that's the thing. I'm assuming Clyde Cash is not a real person. I assume he is a troll who calls himself Clyde Cash because Chris used the name Clyde earlier.
Oh,
I
okay, so
assume
this isn't the Clyde from before was made up, but now someone has adopted the made up name to fuck with. Oh, that's I like that. I like Jesus Christ.
I assume so, at least. It could be a coincidence. I assume Chris took the name Clyde after Clyde Frog from South Park, because Chris really likes South Park.
Well, who
He steals
doesn't?
from it a bunch. He
It's so
doesn't
good.
understand it.
Well, he could probably understand some of the earlier episodes. There's not really much there.
So Clyde Clash explains the reason he trolls Chris Chan so uh, intensely is because his brother Ryan Cash was a really big fan of Sonichu, and at some point Chris said he was not going to put out any more Sonichu comics until Nintendo contacted him or something, and then Clyde's brother was so distraught he killed himself. So now Clyde Cash has made it his life mission to make Chris's life a living hell, just as he has made it his.
Jesus, God, this is like.
So Chris calls.
Remember how when we were talking about Sonichu and we went through the story because we're on a hiatus, right? That's why we haven't mentioned what's fucking happened in the comic at all because it stopped.
Yeah,
But
I don't think we get. I think we get like issue 8 finished in 2009.
this is like this. This is Sonichu was like if a child wrote a story. Clearly, like that. That's really what it was. And like with its plot structure and everything, fucking Chris Chan's life is becoming a story written by a child. Like the things that are happening to him, like with this made-up Clyde Cash character, like they are just so fucking simple and it really just it feels like Chris is living in his own like he literally is just living in his own made up fantasy world separate from the rest of us that somehow when we like interact we just like slot ourselves into his weird rule set.
It kind of feels like a really retarded Metal Gear story. Like
Yeah,
someone takes Chris's old moniker and uses it against him. Is
it's
kind of a genius piece of spy fiction.
it's so good.
It does actually happen in Metal Gear now that I think about it. Solidus takes up his name so he can fuck with Solid Snake for it. About it. Whatever.
And then oh god, what's her face takes up the Gray Fox cyborg suit.
Right, but she becomes a Mr. X. She doesn't become
Right,
a Deep Throat.
that's true. Well, he wasn't. Wait.
Yeah, when Gray Fox first introduces himself, he introduces him.
Right, but I mean, but then he just like shows up as a ninja, and you don't put two and two together until way later.
So Chris makes a phone call to Jason Kendrick Howell, the real Jason Kendrick Howell, not a fictional version. He calls him at his house and tells him that he prays for his death.
Oh god, what?
The reason he did this is because Greg told Chris Chan that he was Jason Kendrick Howell, but then Greg revealed that he was actually Clyde Cash. Chris ignores this and calls Jason anyways.
Okay.
So on January 19th, Chris decides Sonichu.net is a wash. He opens up Sonichu.info. Later that day, Sonichu.info was hacked.
What? Sonichu.com was already a thing.
Sonichu.net, not .com.
No. Why? Like, what happened to the .com?
Clyde Cash took it over.
Oh, he bought it.
No, he just hacked into it, and so Chris
Oh.
Chan set up another free website that was also hacked. So then Chris makes a video pleading for Clyde Cash to stop trolling him because it's not what his brother would want. And then after this, Chris begins to have regular chats with Clyde Cash. And another troll working under the moniker Billy Mays shows up, and the two tend to berate Chris for a while. Chris reveals during this discourse that he reveals a couple pairs of underwear that he shit in before.
Why?
I don't know. And also Clyde implies that Chris Chan wants to dress up like a girl, unknowingly predicting the future, which is another Metal Gear style thing. Characters accidentally foreshadowing events.
Yeah, but why is any of this happening? I
Because
don't understand. I, I feel like we need video of Chris Chan just in conversation to truly understand him,
I mean, there's a lot
because
of it out there.
there is
There's hundreds and hundreds of videos that have been saved and cataloged.
like Skype conversations.
Yeah, those two. But no, like he posts videos, he makes them himself, and then he puts them out there.
Why everything? Why does he talk about everything? Doesn't he know people have limits?
There's a joke in Jake and Amir, the web series, where Amir discovers Twitter for the first time, and he describes it as a private dictionary that you can type everything into, and no one will ever know about it. I feel like that's how Chris views everything. He doesn't understand that social media is something that other people see. He just thinks it's a private thing. So in his
Yes,
next
yeah.
chat with Clyde Cash, it's revealed that Clyde Cash has raped Chris's sweetheart Panda Halo, who is now pregnant. The three have a back and forth, and Chris encourages Panda Halo to have Clyde Cash in his son's life. He thinks it's important that a father be in the kid's life. He also encourages her to have the baby aborted because he thinks it's an abomination. He's cool either way.
And Panda Halo is the troll girlfriend, correct?
Yes, she is the current troll girlfriend.
This is gonna be very similar to having a fucking discussion about Metal Gear, because like you are my rock solid timeline and Wikipedia for Chris Chan, because like this shit's getting deep.
It is. It's deep. Not a lot of pregnancy in Metal Gear, though.
Olga.
Yeah, Olga and fucking what's her face, Eva, but she's pregnant in between games.
Eva. That. Oh yeah, yeah. That. I haven't played Peace Walker yet.
You should. She doesn't show up in it.
Oh, but I assume that's where you find out about her pregnancy.
No, you find out about it in 4.
I don't remember that.
Right. I mean, I
There,
guess
there's a lot that happens in that game, to be fair.
if you play Ground Zeroes, Pause is kind of reverse pregnant. Anyways, February.
Oh God, fuck you.
Chris continues chatting with his
Asshole. Anyway.
he continues chatting with his fans. He's mostly being harassed by Clyde. He talks to a woman named Julie, who reveals that her home country of Molvania recently imploded.
Another troll.
Later on, Chris,
You really got to be like, he talks to a troll woman. Like,
if he talks to someone, assume they're a troll.
okay, yeah. Point out the people that are real people.
Later on, Chris says he thinks Molvania is around North Virginia and Germany.
I it's really hard to process some of this shit. Like that's like a quick story. When I was in college, one of my friends, thankfully now ex-boyfriend, we were talking just because he was around, like waiting for her, and I said something about how, oh yeah, it's only like 100 miles for me to drive back home from campus, and dead serious looked me straight in the eyes and said, 100 miles? Isn't that like the width of the United States? And I was with a group of people, we were all just like stunned that someone said that, and that basically that Chris Chan is just that person.
Yeah, in defense, people in America have kind of a weird sense of scale.
But 100, but I live in Florida, and
right.
That's the width of our state. Like, if this guy drove, he should know that. He should like.
Yeah, but like the individual states are bigger than most countries. Like Florida is bigger than all of England.
Yeah, but he should fucking know that West Virginia and Germany are fucking continents apart. Like,
Well, yeah, that's
like, like that's what I'm getting at here. Like,
so Clyde Cash
oh, I should also
sees.
say that that guy's name was Robert, and he insisted that he go by Bert. So,
I mean, if you're around someone who's Bert, they're just like you should know eventually they're only ever going to get a job in construction wearing an old wife beater.
no,
I see it like
you think of the uptight gay guy in a gay couple in the
do you?
'60s. Yeah, because Bert and Ernie. You don't
I
think
mean, I did think of Bert originally, but I didn't want to base it on
why
stereotypes.
not?
I'm a very
I don't want to of a very happy gay couple.
yeah, fuck the gays, Jesus.
What are you
Who's
Christian
his
now?
gay couple in Mission Hill?
Wait, there's a gay couple on King of the Hill.
No, Mission Hill.
Oh, I never watched Mission Hill.
They
Or
have like a gay couple, and like one of the dudes is like this 6 foot tall, fat black guy. Not black. This 6 foot tall, bald guy. It's a really good show. You should watch it. They're a cute couple.
but
That's who I think of. Anyways,
anyway,
Melania
back
has
to
a
yeah.
So Clyde Cass sees an opportunity, and using Julie as leverage, he forces Chris to make several videos admitting that he is a homosexual, and several other videos destroying his other myriad of sex toys.
Wait, Julie.
Julie is the new one whose country exploded. Imploded, sorry.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize. I thought she had a weird name because of her weird country name.
That's never explained, by the way. There's no more detail on what happened to Melvania other than it imploded. Like, was it civil distress? Did it literally implode? Was there like a science experiment? Did like a local group of mercenaries steal a bipedal tank that can launch nukes? What's going on? Poor Melvania. So then Black Saturday happens. So Black Saturday is the day in Australia were a series of bushfires that happened along the Australian coast, I guess, that killed about 173 people. Chris is pretty sure Panda Halo died in the bushfire,
Wait,
even
so
though
this
he will
was
talk
a
to
real
her
thing
after.
that happened in 2009.
Yes, the bushfires are real. Chris
Okay.
believes Panda Halo died during the bushfires, even though he's going to talk to her later.
How does he know about the bush? Chris doesn't seem like a person who like sees anything that happens outside of his bedroom in the world
I mean, I
ever.
assume someone told him.
I
I
see.
don't know. I guess it wasn't a big thing if you don't remember it. I don't remember it. That's because in 2009 I didn't give a shit about anything. That was
2009.
pre-Metal Gear, Dylan.
That was. Oh man. That was a long time ago. I don't remember about wildfires in I barely remember about the wildfires in America. So
He
anyway,
might pay attention to Australian wildfires because his supposed girlfriend lived in Australia. So,
yeah, that's true.
So Chris opens a proper website, Sonichu.com. It's an actual .com. He actually bought the domain. And Chris gets confirmation from Nintendo contact with that there was no actual contact between him and Nintendo.
How?
So now Chris knows that Takashi never talked to him, Shigeru Miyamoto never talked to him, Reggie Fils-Aimé never talked to him, Jay-Z is not his lawyer. And he goes back to asking
Should have
his
known
fans
that
to
one.
he goes back to asking his fans to pester Nintendo to get a Sonic 2 game made. I don't think Chris knows who Jay-Z is, so I don't think he would understand one way or the other. He probably chalked it up to, oh, he's black.
Jay-Z's my lawyer. Even if that could happen, you wouldn't want Jay-Z as your lawyer. Like,
I don't know, man. I don't know if you. I mean, well, I guess he does have a lot of problems.
Jay-Z.
Maybe as like a marriage counselor, because a bitch isn't one.
I don't think you want someone who says I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one as your marriage counselor, unless you're a middle-aged white guy and a wife beater.
Yeah. Business manager, maybe. He's a good businessman.
Yeah, no, yeah. Anyway,
So on the site, Sonichu and Rosachu, Chris opens Sonichu and Rosachu's Love Shack, which is a section of his website dedicated to Rule 34 art. So he's not combating anything at this point. He's just putting it up because he wants to.
like Rule 34 art, or like stuff that he's drawing.
No, Rule 34 art specifically.
Okay.
His own little pornography section.
So he's basically just curating the Rule 34 of his characters.
Yes. I don't think he allows any other Rule 34 art, only his own. So there's audio released of Chris cybering with Julie, which is just sort of Chris jerking off erotically.
Oh God. Oh, why would anyone want to listen to that?
Ominously, Chris is the only one who can be heard in this tape. Julie's audio has been cut out. And then there's another audio release of Chris cybering with Julie.
Ominously, or like was she even there, like, as a fake girl?
Ominously, it's gonna get real fucked up.
Oh God. So there's a second audio. Huh?
Nothing. All right. So more audio of Chris comes up of him jerking off with Julie. This time, his dad Bob walks in.
Oh God.
And that's pretty. And then Bob says that he is cutting down the internet, which has led to Bob receiving the moniker of the Internet Lumberjack, which is pretty great.
So wait, okay. So his dad walked in when he was jerking off, or cybering on the internet,
Right.
and there's audio of this, and people listen to it, and in it his dad says he's going to cut down the internet.
Yes.
This feels like a bad teen sex comedy. Like,
yeah, it kind of is like the opening gag of American Pie, isn't it?
yeah, but funnier in its ignorance. Because I like the lumberjack of the internet. That is a fucking amazing moniker, and just fits so well. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
This
So then a number of PSN chats surface between Chris and Julie.
Wait.
During these, Chris reveals his...
Chris is the one person who PSN chatted. Like, I assume these are messages, right? Like, written.
Yeah, he uses the PlayStation Network to chat. I don't think he has like the little keyboard either, so he types all this stuff out by hand. Chris really likes the PlayStation. I think Chris is partially responsible for the bad rep that PlayStation fanboys got. I think he's a big part of the reason why PlayStation people are considered like the spineless 12-year-olds and not like Xbox users or Wii fans.
I thought Xbox users were 12 years old. But they're I guess they're just Call of Duty. Well, Xbox users are Call of Duty players. That's what it's Xbox users are they're obnoxious 12-year-olds and dude bros.
Right. Whereas like the Sony fans got the reputation. That's the word I'm looking for, I think. Got the reputation as being like super defensive over their choice.
And then PC players are just arrogant.
Right. And then now it's completely changed. Now Sony's leading the pack, and Xbox is the one that's trailing behind. No one cares because there's nothing out.
Dude, Sunset Overdrive is great.
Sunset Overdrive is
I
out.
yeah, and D4. I really like both of those games.
Soon
Anyway,
enough, Phantom Pain's gonna come out. It'll save us all.
I'm really looking forward to it now. I didn't tell you. I don't. It's not for this podcast, but I bought Revengeance. So yay.
Oh, Metal Gear Rising's great. I love
Yeah.
Metal Gear Rising.
Anyway, let's back to Chris Chan. We got off topic because of the PlayStation.
Chris does own Metal Gear Solid 1, but there's no proof that he's ever played it.
Oh, but it's so good.
It is. Chris doesn't like good stuff. Anything that
No,
requires
he likes Sonic.
he likes Sonic and Little Big Planet.
Little Big Planet's good.
Yeah, sure it is.
Fuck you. Anyway.
So in these PSN chats, it's revealed that Chris's aunt recently passed away, and he really doesn't want to go to the funeral.
I don't blame him.
Right. I mean, that's another common thing with autistics is problems with grieving. Comes up a lot.
I'm not autistic, and
Right.
I don't like... People don't like funerals.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's an understandable thing. We don't know how close Chris was to his aunt.
I assume not very. I feel like I feel like it's very hard to be close to Chris Chan, and mostly because he doesn't want you to be.
Chris does note that when they didn't go to the funeral, he and his parents were kind of ostracized from the rest of the Chandler family. So she might have been like the one link between them, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. In another chat, Panda Halo attempts to kill herself, and Chris tries to stop her, even though Chris thinks she died in a bushfire. Which, she'll talk to him a couple more times, too, and every time I look up to it, Chris still thinks she died in that bushfire.
Then how is he
I don't think he remembers when the bushfire was.
But it happened, like it already happened. Like...
He might assume. I think, like in a retrospect, he just assumes it was happening after he talked to her.
But
And
I
he
thought
just
this was like
forgets.
months later at this point.
Is it? Damn. Give me a second. Black Saturday.
How long did these bushfires go on?
I don't know. I didn't look that part up.
Oh, you were looking it up as we spoke, so...
All right, I'm trying to find out when the bushfires happened. Hold on. Oh, here we go. No, this is earlier that month that they happened.
So
they can still be
it's
going on. Bushfires can take a while. And also, it's not like Christian.
Oh yeah, it went all the way. It went from the 7th of February to the 14th of March, so over a month.
All right. So a video of Chris, let's say, engaging with Kimmy is released.
Why? Why?
Throughout the video, Chris shouts Julie constantly. And that's pretty funny. It's pretty funny to hear him shout out Julie the whole time.
Can he not pronounce Julie?
I don't think so. Alright.
Oh.
So here, Manifest Destiny is made. Chris takes part in another chat where he is introduced to a group that call themselves the Miscreants. A group of trolls dedicated to revealing Chris's arrogant, homophobic, racist nature to the world. The Miscreants is, of course, made up of Clyde Cash, Vivian G, Billy Mays, and several other figures that we are not sure of yet.
So Vivian G, one of Chris's only friends, has made up a secret cabal to expose his bullshit to the world.
I think Clyde Cash is the founder of the Miscreants, and he just sort of brought Vivian into the fold. Also, the Miscreants is obviously inspired by the Patriots from Metal Gear.
Oh, I was thinking it was like the Misfits.
No.
And I
Chris
meant
doesn't play
the band, not
Right.
not the fake band from Gem and the Holograms. I
Chris
realize
doesn't play Metal Gear, but his trolls sure do, because there's a lot of Metal Gear stuff happening with them.
no wonder why you were attracted to this fucking story.
It's crazy. So
Really,
Chris is told
really.
it's gonna get crazier right here.
I
So
know.
Chris is told Julie's brother Max has kidnapped her, and he's holding her captive in Cleveland, Ohio. So Chris leaves home for Cleveland, Ohio, which is several states away from West Virginia, to retrieve his internet girlfriend. And he doesn't bother to tell anyone that he left. Like, his parents call the cops to find out what happened to him. And he apparently makes the trip in a day.
How did he travel?
I
don't understand how he can like leave his home
So-
and not die.
That's the fucked up thing, though, is he made it all the way to Cleveland, and there's proof of it. Like, there are receipts of, like, places he stopped in Cleveland that you could not fake. He was there. He made it back, and he made it several states by himself, $50 to his name, in one piece.
In
Totally
a day,
fine.
apparently.
In a day. I mean, it's a long day. It was like he left at, like, 5
It's a long day. It can't possibly be more than 24 hours, but it's a fucking long day.
At, like, 5 in the morning on one day, and he got home at, like, 4 in the morning the next day. So it was a full day, but still.
Yeah, but he went to 2 states away. He went to fucking Ohio and back with no money.
He went to the fucking edge of Ohio, too. Cleveland is, like, real far north.
It's at the top. Yeah, it's real up top.
It's a lake-faring city. That might be the strongest evidence that Chris really is a troll, that it really is a joke. A very elaborate one that he has meticulously created, but it might not be all fake. If there's any evidence for it, it might be that he made it several states in a day.
Well, no, the only evidence for that, because you could do that realistically, but not if you are Christian. Like,
right.
You would need to have a car. Like, you would just need. Honestly, you'd really just need to have a car, and you could do.
He does have a car
and some money, but can he drive?
Yeah, he has a license. He remember he got in trouble because he was an offender bender on his way to court.
Oh yeah, for loitering. Right.
So he could. It's feasible.
I guess, but he has no money.
He gets his monthly tugboat.
Oh, I thought you said he had like $50.
Like $50 to his name was what was written down, but he might have used some of that for gas. And he only stopped at like a fast food restaurant. So
okay, then I guess it's not as improbable as I thought it would be. I don't think he's functional enough as a human being to pull it off.
Yeah, I don't think he could read the map well enough to make it 3 states away.
Like,
it is kind of inspiring.
Like, I was gonna say, like, if Chris is a real person and he did this, it's like this is like the scene out of like Homeward Bound or some shit. Like, these poor creatures that shouldn't be able to do this journey somehow did, except it's about this moron.
I mean, if Chris can make it several states away and back in a day, so can we. We can go anywhere. America is only 100 feet wide, 100 miles wide.
It's only 100 miles wide.
What if it really is, and like we think it's not because of propaganda? What if he's right? What if it's really, really small? What if just because Chris doesn't think it's very far away, he would make it quicker?
I've flown from Boston to Seattle and from fucking Tampa to Los Angeles. I know how big the goddamn United States is. It's more than 100 miles.
Oh, really slow.
No. I've driven 100 miles. I've driven from one side of Florida to the other, and I know that's 100 miles. And I know that the United States is wider than Florida.
What if, like, just through sheer force of will, he's somehow, like, shortened the distance?
You mean he event horizoned and folded space?
Yeah. He's got the mass for it.
God damn it. You fucking dick. Anyway, can we stop? Can
All
you
right, so
stop making
March
me
begins.
giggle about this stupid trip and tell me what the fuck happens next?
Oh, March is great. So Julie's brother Max takes control of Chris's PlayStation Network account.
So another
To
fake
buy
person on
stuff
the
with it.
internet, right?
Well,
Julie's fake, right?
wait a minute. Stuff with his PSN stuff, but chances are,
So this is like
because as I told you before, I
Chris buys a bunch of Chris buys everything on PlayStation Network. That's what you told me.
right like habitually. That's why he owns Metal Gear Solid 1 because
Because it came out on PSN.
it was available for purchase. Right. I assume it came out like at a point when there buy, which is why he might have bought it.
But just no, just I was just thinking because
So
you
in
said
order to
like
get back his
Julie,
PlayStation
Julie's
Network,
we know Julie's fake, so they just made up a brother to fuck with Chris Moore on her end, but then not have him blame her, right?
well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's gonna get real weird. So in order to get his account back, Chris declares that Billy Mays is the mayor of Quickville.
Wait,
It opens with a disclaimer that Billy Mays is not the mayor.
oh, that's why that
That's why that's there.
happened. Wait.
Yes.
So someone adopted the moniker of Billy
And then he
Mays
has
to troll Chris, which I already accepted, but Chris thinks it's really Billy Mays.
I assume Chris does not make it in fantasy. Billy Mays is not the last celebrity Chris thinks he's in contact with. Because
Why?
he was his lawyer.
Yeah, he did think Jay-Z was his lawyer.
He also thought during the Nintendo saga that he was in regular contact with Reggie Fils-Aimé and Shigeru Miyamoto. Which I kind of glossed over, mostly because nothing interesting happened. Is Clyde Cash just working under a different moniker? But anyways, to get his PlayStation account back, he has to break his medallion and then shove all the pieces up his ass.
So he does it.
He does it. He does. He succeeds. There's evidence of this. It's not video because it was on a phone call. Max reveals the truth that he is Julie. Max and Julie are the same person, and that they are actually a 13-year-old boy named Blue Spike, who is working for Clyde Cash.
I. You were no. This is a fucking. This is a Metal Gear story, but just infinitely stupider.
So Blue Spike is a 13-year-old boy who has been participating in phone sex with Chris for months at this point.
But not. It's not really a 13. Like, is it really a 13-year-old boy?
Yeah, Blue Spike is really a 13-year-old kid. You can hear it clear as day in the audio.
Oh God!
That's why Julie's voice was not in the previous recording, because anyone who heard his voice could tell he was just like a kid. He wasn't actually a girl, except for Chris.
What the fuck?
So the reveal of Julie prompted a debate on Encyclopedia Dramatica, and one user summed it up pretty beautifully here. This user, I think it's just named Wit. I'm not sure about that though. If Blue Spike really is 13 years old, then we know who the real child molesters are. Hey, they made fun of you for doing Sonic recolors? Look at this guy. Hey, be one of the cool kids. Help this autistic guy jack off, pretend to be a girl so we can videotape and record it. That's the real reason you were shitting it and called for a 30-minute silence just after, Clyde. At least you had the balls to say that it was you responsible in channel for once. You know it's not going to be pizzas at 1 a.m. and you know it's not a fucking cat. If Blue Spike really is 13, then you groomed a child to perform sex acts on a mentally retarded man for your pleasure. You're fucked, son. You both broke a lol cow, but there's better sport now, ruining your lives. And don't act like you don't care. I saw you shitting yourselves all that night and the next, sending waves of members out to kill threads about it or put in false names, just like your sock earlier in the page. And then immediately afterward, a troll posts a newspaper article that he says is about Chris Chan, and the newspaper mentions that a local man committed suicide by hanging himself with a wireless PS3 controller.
What?
So this revelation would probably break most people, that you've secretly been having fantasy sex with a child this whole time. Probably breaking laws, I assume.
Wait, so did Clive
I mean, he
Cash
should've-
like groom Blue Spike to like?
Yeah, pretty much. Let's not sit here and pretend that the trolls are not worse people than Chris Chan. They
No,
might be
no,
more
I'm just
functional,
like,
but they're not.
why would he agree? Why? Where are
I
these
mean,
people's parents, Dylan? Where are these people's parents?
But Blue Spike had complete control over Chris. He could have like made him buy him stuff, or like and made him do more embarrassing. I mean, Cleveland, but no, he just kept having phone sex with him. So you can defer from that what you will. On a date with a woman named Emily.
Like literally on a date?
Well, he tries. But when the last he sees of her, he says that she was being swept away by a man in a pickle suit.
In a pickle suit? What?
The man in the pickle suit will come back up eventually.
I assume this is like
so
his imaginary like mortal enemy, but I just really want to just we need to make the Chris Chan movie, but make it entirely from his perspective. So he just goes on a date and is like super weird and awkward, and then all of a sudden this dude in a pickle suit shows up and just like totally like Dracula enthralling a woman like just under the pickle cloak, and just spirits her away.
Chris is basically living. And then Chris gives a tour of his house, which is filled on the verge of collapse. It is a wonder how it has not burned down. And with that little bit of foreshadowing, Chris reveals that he's been in contact with a couple new women who and Ivy.
Sorry, you're breaking up a lot.
Played a large role in the Sonichu comic as well.
Damn it, Dylan, we have to end this now.
And then Chris declares that he is leaving YouTube forever.
Dylan.
Yes.
We have to end this. I didn't understand most of what you just said because it was breaking up really bad, and we've been going for an hour and 20 minutes. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know what the fuck's going on with the internet.
I mean, I don't think it can handle this much Chris Chan at once.
I don't think it can fucking handle this much Chris Chan at once. But anyway, I'm going to cut most of that out, but you'll hear this part, so thank you, everyone.
Life image of Clyde Cash. Although, if you Google the word Guido, he's the first thing that comes up, so...
Oh, that's what that is. That picture. Yeah, that's Clive Cash.
It's supposed to be Clyde Cash.
It's what Clive Cash said he looked like.
I mean, it's what someone said he looked like.
But wait, if you really Google Guido, that's the first thing that shows up.
I think so. Let me do it. If you Google Clyde Cash, it's the first thing that shows
Well,
up.
I would hope so. If it's supposed to be him.
Yep. First
Great.
thing that comes up is this.
This dipshit. Okay, well, so that is the saga of Chris. This saga keeps getting longer and longer, but it's not like we can't this is such a I feel like our story is truncated so much already that you can't make it any smaller. But Jesus fucking Christ, does this rabbit hole go way deeper? We're not even
Uh,
like halfway through 2009 yet.
yeah, we are in April 2009.
Yeah, shit, man. I
It
know it's
does. We are in the golden age of Chris Chan. I think around 2010, 2011, it
I feel like it could all.
starts
I
to
feel
die. People can't
it's.
get in contact with him anymore. Like, he doesn't answer emails or messages from people he doesn't know. It took him fucking 4 years to figure it out, but he wisens up and he stops contacting people, but he still just gets himself in trouble because he's a total idiot.
Well, yeah, duh.
It's it's a crazy ride that just gets crazier.
I don't. Does it? It still gets worse, right? Like
I mean, define worse.
I don't
I
know.
don't think
I
Chris.
don't know if it can get more fucked up than finding out that you've been having phone sex with a 13-year-old boy for like 2 months.
Right. I think anything gets worse than that, but like it gets more interesting. What with all the legal troubles he succumbs to.
Oh wait, what? There you go.
It's
There's your hook for next
it's
episode.
gonna.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. So thank you everyone for listening. You can find more awesome stuff. Well, more of this show at itcamefromtheinternet.com and more fun stuff at randomassaultpodcast.com. I need a shower, Dylan. Like, yeah. Bye, everyone.